Refuge Freedom Stories, brought to you by Refuge Ministries Canada. For the next half hour, your hearts will be filled with hope as you hear real-life stories from individuals that have been changed by the power of God. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Refuge Freedom Stories. I'm your host, Johnny T, and today my guest is Rob Rene. Rob is a former high-level athlete and a near-death survivor whose life was transformed after a near-fatal accident. With a deep passion for natural health, Rob has become an inspiring keynote speaker, herbalist, and molecular hydrogen researcher, sharing his unique insights on living a pain-free and vibrant life. Rob, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So let's talk about this event that happened in your life. You were training to be a high-level athlete, and then all of a sudden that changed. So maybe let's start with that.
Sounds good. Yes, as a young person, I had loved all sorts of sports, but running just seemed to be the one that God gave me the gift of, and I was able to be a really talented youth runner. And as I grew up in my sporting career, I got better and better, and it's like, wow, I could do really well with this. So I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to a Division I school in the state. It was an amazing school, and it was a place that was developing professional runners. And this was 20 years ago, right? So it was probably longer than that. It was a long time ago. But the reason why I wanted to go to that school is because they actually help people be good after college. And a lot of college athletes get really good during college, and then they're no longer good after. So anyway, that's why I went to that school, and I was so excited. Things were going really well. And that summer, I'd made the U.S. junior team. I was the second best miler in the country at my age. And so it was really cool. And we went on an international tour, and I ran a race in Canada, and I ended up beating that same gentleman who beat me at our national race, and then beat the best other runners from 5 different other countries. So it was really a special time for me. I was like, man, I'm really on my way to being what I wanted to be. That's what I've been trained for 10 plus years for. Super excited about that. That winter, I was out on a training run. Me and my buddy needed to go do a 10-mile run. So we were out running in the snow and ice and wind, and had a hat on and hoodies. And I heard my friend who was running right behind me, I heard a noise, and I turned around to look, and all I saw was this 4x4 truck coming, and it was just sliding right towards me. I had no chance to move. I just said, I'm going to get hit. And it literally hit my hip and threw me 36 feet. That's a really, really long way. And I landed straight on my face and then my knees. And my whole side of my face was just road rash and bleeding and gashed open. And my knees were broken, and they're just laying on the side of the road unconscious. And so that was bad. But even worse is I had a bloody nose in the run earlier, and my throat clogged. So I'm laying there on the side of the road, can't breathe, I'm unconscious and freezing. And if it wasn't for the Lord, I believe my friend just came to my aid, and my friend's like, okay, this is bad, right? You can't communicate with me. And he knew I had the bloody nose earlier in the run, and he could tell I wasn't breathing. So he unclogged my throat. And for him to know to do that was just amazing. But for me to be able to breathe, that saved my life that day, because it took the paramedics 12 plus minutes to get there. And, you can't survive with no oxygen for long of a period of time. God saved me that particular day, and had a really rough go at it, to be honest, for quite a while, because I wasn't sure my whole intent and goal in life at that point in life was to be a runner. So I went through depression, went through just frustration. But I did pick myself up. I'm a very competitive person. I ended up doing what the world tells you to do, right? The world tells you to go get a job, and then you go work for a large corporation, and then you get the house with the white picket fence, and you get the 3 kids, and you get a dog, and you watch sports, and then you play video games, and you're distracted with life. And I spent a couple of decades doing what the world was telling me to do. Then, this is where my life really transformed, was when the pandemic hit. I call it the second truck that hit my life, because it was really impactful. Just like the first one, I knew it just had a huge disruption in my life. I do have, just as an important point, I'm so excited now doing what I do that everything that has happened to me, I can see now that the Lord has literally been teaching me every step of the way. And it's not fun when you go through a truck moment where your life is totally disrupted
Yeah.
and you're literally thrown through the air and your life is just upside down. That's happened to me now twice. And at the time, it's horrible and horrific. And the pandemic was kind of like that for me. I'd lost my sales job because I couldn't travel anymore. But it was the first time in my life that I'd had time to sit back to research things that I had never had time to research. I was busy, right? My manufactured life that they want you to do was a life where I had no time to do research. And I'd go to church on Sunday, and then as soon as the door hit me in the butt, I wouldn't think about church until the next Sunday. And I'd sit there and say, that was a great message from the preacher. Boom, hits me in the butt and like, now, what did we talk about last week? I was a Christian in name only, really. I wasn't a true faithful Christian. And that's what's been so fun for me now is when I started learning how to do this research. And I believe the Lord was like, okay, Rob, you made a transition to that first truck. Here's your next transition. I was like, Lord, what is it you want me to do? And I was really scared about my family with this COVID thing because at the early onset, no one knew what was going on. But I had gone back to my beginning where as an athlete, I learned really early on, I read a book about nutrition and how eating the right things and putting them in your body is how you fuel your body. And what was so cool about that as a runner is it really made me a much better runner than my competition because my competition is eating pizza and hot dogs and just crap. And they would get towards the end of the race and they had no fuel. And I knew how to fuel my body well. I knew how to train well. And I always had a good finish in my races. And I attributed that to, one, God gave me an amazing natural gift. But at the same point, I also knew about how to fuel this wonderful thing that he gave us, this temple that we have. And so fast forward to the pandemic and that was starting to do research. And I was like, okay, I know that nutrition is really important. So I'm going to start figuring out what I can do nutrition wise to help save my family. Maybe I'll go create some supplements was my first thought. And then it just got to the point where it's like, I saw this one doctor being vilified for talking about vitamin D. And I'm like, I don't know why he's really bad, but they're saying he's really bad, so he must be really bad. So I started doing research on this doctor. I'm like, one, vitamin D is from the sun. It's like the most natural thing possible. We can't survive without the sun. It literally creates all of the plants and the stuff that God made. If we didn't have the sun, none of that would survive. So I knew vitamin D in itself wasn't bad, and I couldn't find anything wrong with him. And I couldn't find anything wrong with vitamin D, just vitamin D. Questioning things like that, why would they be vilifying this gentleman? And man, what I uncovered was just tragic to me because I uncovered what I feel is our medical system was just taken over in the early 1900s. The more research I did, and then it became this really corrupt medical cartel is what I call it now. A system that's just about a pill for an ill. It helps cover symptoms and doesn't help the root cause of health. That's why Big Pharma has gotten so powerful and so much money, and they own media companies, they own politicians, they own large corporations, they own everything because they have so much money, and it's all about money and not helping people. And that's where I finally went back to that doctor. I'm like, okay, hold on. So the doctor's not bad. Vitamin D's not bad. They're vilifying this guy because of this. Then my whole world just opened up and I started doing a ton of research. And that's been a skill set that now I love and I want to implore to anybody is just to start doing your own research. The Lord will lead you to the right areas and the right resources. And you have to look at both sides. So I look at the arguments on both sides and then I go look at some sources that I finally identify. And when you identify really good sources, then you can start making up your mind of what's the truth. And obviously now I do a lot of prayer, right? And the Lord leads me to a lot.
Okay, so I understand all about symptoms and root cause and things like that. In your own journey of faith, you said that you were a Christian in name only, and then you got transformed into this God-fearing man that wants to serve God with his whole being and inspire others to do the same. So how did God identify the symptoms of that lack of real faith to you? And what root cause did he show you was standing in the way of you moving into that real faith? Yeah,
one of them, interestingly enough, was my drinking. So I was in corporate sales for decades. And as part of that job, I had to go entertain clients, right? So I'd entertain the clients in the afternoon, take them to the bar, and then we'd take them to the restaurant, and then we'd take them to the bar after the restaurant. then that became, okay, now I got to do that not only on Friday and Saturday, but now I got to do it on Wednesday. Then it became, oh, hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And so developed this habit of drinking every day. I was very highly functional. I had a really good career, but I just drank every single day, 2 or 3 drinks or 12, right? It was just like one of those things. And I got to the point where over time, it's like, I just don't feel well. And I'm like, why do I not feel well? I think the Lord was finally just saying, okay, it's time to stop this habit. and so I literally just prayed to him and said, okay, I don't feel well. I believe it's because I'm not treating my body the way I'm supposed to be treating my body. So help me with this, Lord. And so I didn't want to go into a program. I didn't want to go do 12 steps. I just wanted to do this myself and just the Lord, right? If it wasn't for the Lord and my beautiful wife to help me get through that, it would have been really hard. But it was not hard for me. And the reason why I say that is because I wanted to do things smart. So I started doing research. Remember that skill that I told you about? Is like, okay, wow, actually getting off of alcohol is a very dangerous thing if you don't do it correctly. I didn't know that. I'm like, well, crap, I don't want to die by trying to be healthy. So I went to a doctor and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And he gave me some prescription medication. I don't even know what it was now. For the first week, I took this prescription medication when I just stopped cold turkey drinking. And that helped me with either the withdrawal symptoms or whatever it was that first week. And then I weaned myself off of that. And ever since then, for almost 7 years now, I've been sober. So I'm super excited about that. But I believe that transition from once I was able to be sober, my mind started thinking clearly. I started reading the Bible every day. He helped me through that period, and I thanked him for that. And I knew it was him that was helping me through that, and that the living word of God is so powerful. And I just developed this close relationship with him. It's just like, okay, Lord, I'm yours. What do you want me to do? Who do you want me to be? How do you want me to do my life? And I'm going to follow. And so ever since then, he's led me to every single thing that I'm doing now because of who he has introduced me to and the information that he's provided for me. It's been just a fascinating journey this last 5 years because it's like, holy smokes, the things that he's doing for me. And of course, my whole life is 100% different, right? I'm not led by money or fame, just literally led by how can I help the kingdom and how can I help the kingdom grow and how can I help the Lord do the Great Commission, right?
And now a short word from our sponsor.
Do you wake up feeling exhausted and struggle just to keep up? Step into a new realm of vitality and abundance. The promised land of optimal health is within your reach. Introducing Exodus, a powerful blend of 7 biblically inspired ingredients: organic barley grass, wheatgrass, aloe, saffron, cumin, frankincense, and myrrh, each with centuries of proven, profound healing properties. Exodus also harnesses cutting-edge molecular hydrogen with a healthy inflammatory response and anti-aging effects at the cellular level. Imagine waking up feeling fresh and invigorated with a profound sense of boundless energy, clarity, balance, and inner peace. Don't settle for anything less than your vibrant, God-given best. Are you ready to transform your life? Try Exodus today and exit the old you. For a free travel pack, visit the Exodus Strong website at exodusstrong.com. And now, back to this episode.
You'd asked me 6 years ago before that process, I hated to talk about religion. I was very uncomfortable about my faith. I was very uncomfortable to talk about politics, et cetera. And I think it's just because I had a fear of what people would think of me if I was wrong, right? Or if I just said the wrong thing. And now I have the confidence to say, I don't know it all, but God will use me and he'll tell me the right things to say. I may not have all these scriptures memorized like all these other pastors do, and maybe I will eventually, right? And that's awesome. I would love it if I did. I'm continuing to read the word a lot, and I'm trying to memorize some, but it's just like I'm just listening and saying, Lord, what do you want me to do? And so I'm having a blast going through this process now because he's totally transformed my life from being selfish me to like what you were talking about earlier is I am a new creation in Christ. And now he's taking my flesh and my temple and saying, hey, Rob, this is what I want you to do. And it's so much fun because I literally go back and I look at my youth And he taught me how to train really, really hard. And I'm super, super competitive. So he gave me that skill set and said, okay, you're going to leverage this and you're going to be really good, but boom, running's not going to be the avenue. Boom, that wasn't it. So, okay, then I'm going to go into the world. I'm going to do all this, and went into corporate sales. So I know how to communicate well. I know how to talk to large groups of people. I know how to talk to people in a way that can persuade them to do things that I believe is important for them. Just skill sets that I think are great for a person that you're trying to talk to about their faith. If you can understand where they come from and empathize with them, then you can maybe help them get to understanding that Christ isn't so scary and that the Bible isn't so evil like a lot of the world thinks it is. So anyway, I just look back on all that he's trained me with, and I was like, holy smoke, he's taught me about nutrition, right? Then not only did I need it as a youth, but now what I'm doing for a living, trying to help people with their health, because that was the big transition for that second truck that hit me. I transitioned to learning how incredibly awesome our temples are. God made our bodies to heal themselves. And if we can just get it the right information and the right nutrients, guess what? Your body will start working the way it's supposed to work, and your organs start working the way they're supposed to work, and then it will start healing itself. And it's so transformational for people when you can help them get to there, that maybe the Lord is going to heal that person, and I would love for that, and I will pray for that. But if he doesn't heal them, then I believe that there's ways that you can help your body heal itself, because he made you that body. He created your body to heal itself.
Getting back to what you were talking about as you became more invested in research and things like that, you started looking into the Bible, and God, he leads us and guides us. His word is true, and we can depend on it. He's our creator, and there's lots of people that say he's not, but we know better because we can see it all around us. When God takes the scales off our eyes, things just become so much clearer.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking at your particular website called Exodus Strong. You were talking about how biblically you found these nutrients that can, as you said, help the body heal itself, and nutrients that God can use to heal the body that he's created, because they're tied together. So I'd like to understand more about why you chose those particular ones and how those can be made available to people.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So one of the research tasks that I had going through this process was talking to me about healing, right? I love the passage in Exodus 15:26. I am the Lord, your healer. I'm like, awesome. I know you're my healer. So what does that mean? And I was doing research all the way back into early Genesis. You know, there's the topics about that he provides all the things on this earth for us. And I was researching some of the Hebrew words related to it. And some of that passage is related to seeds and herbs and a divine blueprint. And I was just like, holy smokes. Literally, he's given us on this earth the critical herbs and superfoods that we need, and he's already given us the blueprint of life within our body. And so that dug me into saying, okay, what nutrients are there? You know, I wanted to find something that was just amazing that, you know, maybe nobody else has ever found that I could bring to this world to help this world. I believe now Exodus or transformational supplement is that, but I ended up finding 20 plus herbs and superfoods in the Bible that they're just mentioned. And it's like, okay, what are they all? And then maybe I can find one. Maybe I can find the balm of Gilead, right? Which is like the super healing ointment. And I'd love to find that. I haven't found that yet, but I have found lots of herbs and superfoods that are there. But then I look in the market and it's like they're all out there already in maybe individual forms, or so I'm just like, okay, Lord, what does that mean, right? What are we trying to do here? And then he led me to, like I told you earlier, he just keeps leading me to the right people. So I'm praying and he's leading me, and he introduced me to this health practitioner, and he started talking about hydrogen. And I was like, hydrogen, that's like the base element of the universe, right? It's like the first one on the periodic table. And I started doing research on what hydrogen does in the body. And it's not specifically mentioned in the Bible, but dirt and lots of other things are mentioned in the Bible. We know that God created everything. We know that hydrogen does exist. So I'm like, okay, God created this element. What does it do? And this gentleman had this molecular hydrogen blend, and I was doing research on all of the biblical ingredients, and he literally was looking for me and I was looking for him. So it was like one of those matches made in heaven, literally, where he wanted to do what we've created with Exodus, and we wanted something that was really, really special that would help people heal, rather than, I can't say it's going to heal anybody. They'll throw me in jail for that. But what I do know is that Lord is the only one who who can heal. So put it that way. But what we wanted to do is just help people in a dramatic way. So we took what molecular hydrogen does, and we took the best 7 complementary ingredients from the Bible. Because molecular hydrogen works into your cell system. Your mitochondrial process, if you don't know, is like the battery within your body, right? It's like the energy system in your body. If your mitochondrial process is working well, and your body's functioning well. But the problem is, man, with the air and the water and the food and the environment and the toxins that our bodies are exposed to makes our bodies less apt to function the way they're supposed to. And so that's why our mitochondrial process is really damaged in most people. And so, man, when I found out that this molecular hydrogen really helps the mitochondrial process, I'm like, that's amazing. Or if we can just get people to use it for a 30-day period, they're going to feel amazing. 90 days, their blood's going to be recycled and they're going to feel like a new human being. So we added these other 7 ingredients that really give you the nutrients you need. Because most people, they're either dehydrated, as well as with all the food supply being so tainted, 70% of our food supply is ultra processed foods. So you may be eating something that says you're getting these nutrients, but you're not getting the raw nutrients that product typically does have. And then there's so much GMO and modified foods. If you eat an apple and you're not even eating a real apple, right? It tastes like an apple, looks like an apple, but it's not the same apple that God created. So we're teaching people to do organic, right? Do everything, try to get rid of any of this genetically modified food and eat whole foods, and then you're getting the right nutrients. So anyway, those organic barley grass and organic wheatgrass, those 7 ingredients are the ones that give your body the nutrients it needs. So that helps a lot of people because they're not getting the right nutrients. Then we add saffron, which is very good for stress. Lots of people are stressed. Our environments are stressing our body. So that helps with that. And then aloe has hundreds of valid properties and good properties for the body. And then we've got cumin, which helps with inflammation reduction. And inflammation reduction is like the source of most disease. And so then we added frankincense and myrrh, and those help with the inflammation process as well as some other components. But you take the 7 biblical ingredients and you combine it with this master antioxidant within the molecular hydrogen, and we have a product that's just literally so phenomenal that I think in 12 months it's going to be a household name because it's such a transformative product. It's not your daddy's supplement, I guess is what I would say. And we're developing a really solid plan for people. That's a blueprint that says, okay, you need to drink enough water, right? You need to hydrate. You need to start eating the right whole foods, and you need to start getting sunlight, vitamin D, back to that, right? We're trying to help people with this program, and then you start taking our supplement, and then we have a prayer guide, right? That goes with every single product. This prayer guide is so important because we literally want you to activate the mouth. There's power in the tongue. The Bible tells us that, right? There's power by you declaring it. So you declare it with your mouth. Your eyes are reading it. Your ears are hearing yourself say it. And the combination of that and you're using the supplement is an incredible combination. Nobody else is doing that. And then we back up these prayer guides with a Bible study guide related to the topic. So you can even go into a video teaching on that study guide. You can listen to it if you don't want to watch it. And you can also read it if you don't want to watch it or listen to it. But that's really helping people as well. And we're just super excited about this whole blueprint because this blueprint is way more than just going to a supplement store and saying, I think I want to try that. It was going to help. No. We're going to say, we're going to help you from beginning to end, right? We're going to help you with understanding that you need to use your mind, body, and spirit to help you with your health. And if you can combine those 3 things, no other product on the planet or no other solution on the planet is going to work as well as our product is, because that the Lord made this mind, body, spirit of ours to help you with your health. And obviously, if someone's praying, they're asking for help. And I believe the Lord is going to heal a lot of people just because they asked, and they might not have asked if they hadn't used our product, which, woohoo, that would be so amazing, right?
Okay, so if people want to find out more about that and what you can offer them, where would they go?
Yeah, so go to exodusstrong.com and you'll see the energy blueprint that you'll be able to find there. And it's literally a program where you can get the supplement, you'll get the guide, you'll get the ebook to explain it all for you, and it walks you through step by step. It's not complicated. It's not stuff that's really expensive either. We try to get everything in there that is free as possible, right? The sun is free. The air is free. Water is free. If you're drinking healthy water, the filter might cost you some money. But anyway, it's really inexpensive process that can really transform your life. So exodusstrong.com is the best way to do it.
Okay, one final question for you. What's the one thing you would tell people about God?
That He is the healer. I mean, He will transform your life and can heal your troubles. He can heal your bodies, and He can heal, any infirmity that you have. Healing and hope, right? Without hope, there is nothing. And so I believe that the Lord can give you hope. And then when you have that hope, then I believe that He can heal you.
Amen to that. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and God bless you and all you do for Him.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, there is something that I got to say, but I don't know if you are listening. I guess it don't matter, I'm gonna say it anyway, 'cause I know that something's missing. We all have our troubles, we all have our trials, but I know that we can make it with a faith that's like a child. When you see your life numbered and you're feeling overwhelmed, let the Spirit lead and just believe that everything is possible. Maybe you're feeling like you just can't go on. Your situation is impossible. We can do this with the love of God. And together we're unstoppable. We all have our troubles, we all have our trials, but I know that we can make it with a faith that's like a child. When you think you're outnumbered and you're feeling overwhelmed, when the Spirit leads you, best believe that everything is possible. When you feel like you won't make it and you can't take another step, let the Spirit lead and just believe that everything is possible. I'm gonna help you, brother. We're gonna make it through if we carry each other. There is nothing we can't do. When you see you're outnumbered and you're feeling overwhelmed, when the Spirit leads you, just believe that everything is possible. When you see you're outnumbered and you're feeling overwhelmed, when the Spirit leads you, best believe that everything is possible. When you feel like you won't make it and you can't take another step, let the Spirit lead and just believe that everything is possible.
I hope that you have enjoyed the last half hour as much as I did. Thank you again to Refuge Ministries Canada for hosting the show. So until next Friday, may God richly bless you with peace, love, and happiness.
We at Refuge Ministries are so blessed by the success of Refuge Freedom Stories and podcasts. In addition, we focus on youth prison ministry, release kits, and many other diverse outreaches to the needs of our community. As a nonprofit, there are many costs involved, however, and we are asking for your support. Financial gifts can be made via our website at www.refugeministriescanada.com or by calling 519-701-0108. Your giving makes this work possible, and we thank you in advance for your support. That's 519-701-0108. God bless you.